Thank you for joining us here on DD India. My name is Mark Lynn and you're watching News Connect, where we connect you to the news from India and around the world. Let's begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses Bank Deposit Insurance Programme in New Delhi. The Prime Minister says that the programme upholds the spirit of depositors first. The PM also says that over 1 lakh depositors have benefited in the past few days, with more than 1,300 crore rupees released. All deposits in commercial banks insured up to 5 lakh rupees with time-bound refunds. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurates Swarnim Vijay Parv at India Gate. The Defence Minister says that the Indian Armed Forces foiled Pakistan's plans in 1971 and now will eliminate Pakistan-sponsored terrorism from its roots. Two-day event being organised to commemorate the valour of the Indian Armed Forces in 1971 war and 50 years of Indo-Bangla friendship. In the United States, a colossal tragedy strikes as tornadoes bring death and devastation in Kentucky and 5 other states. At least 100 people are feared dead in Kentucky. The US President Joe Biden signs a federal emergency disaster declaration releasing funds for the state. The star shuttler PV Sindhu eyes a title defense at the World Badminton Championships, which start in Huelva in Spain. Indian shuttlers Srikanth and Sai Praneeth will also play their matches on the opening day. The 3-time world champion, the Spanish star Carolina Marin, is not playing in the tournament. Our top story: Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a function in New Delhi today. It was called Depositors First, Guaranteed Time-Bound Deposit Insurance Payment up to 5 lakh rupees. So deposit insurance, it covers all deposits such as savings, fixed, current, recurring deposits in all commercial banks functioning in India, and the deposits in state, central and primary cooperative banks as well functioning in the states and union territories are also covered. So it's a path-breaking reform, and the bank deposit insurance cover has been enhanced from 1 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees. And in his address, the Prime Minister said that banks have a great role to play in the prosperity of the country.
देश की समृद्धि में बैंकों की बड़ी भूमिका है। और बैंकों की समृद्धि के लिए डिपॉजिटर्स का पैसा सुरक्षित होना वो भी उतना ही जरूरी है। हमें बैंक बचाने हैं तो डिपॉजिटर्स को सुरक्षा देनी ही होगी, और हमने ये काम करके बैंकों को भी बचाया है, डिपॉजिटर को भी बचाया है।
The Prime Minister said that mergers have increased banks' capacity, their capability as well as their transparency.
बीते वर्षों में अनेक छोटे सरकारी बैंकों को बड़े बैंकों के साथ मर्ज करके उनकी कैपेसिटी, कैपेबिलिटी और ट्रांसपेरेंसी हर प्रकार से सशक्त की गई है। जब आरबीआई कोऑपरेटिव बैंकों की निगरानी करेगा तो उससे भी इनके प्रति सामान्य जमाकर्ता का भरोसा और बढ़ेगा।
The Prime Minister said that in case of any eventuality, depositors will certainly get at least 5 lakh rupees. He said that through this insurance scheme, 98% of bank accounts have been covered.
आज की तारीख में कोई भी बैंक संकट में आता है तो डिपॉजिटर्स को, जमाकर्ताओं को 5 लाख रुपए तक तो जरूर वापस मिलेगा। और इस व्यवस्था से लगभग 98% लोगों के अकाउंट्स पूरी तरह से कवर हो चुके हैं। ये जो हम निर्णय कर रहे हैं ना, इससे 76 लाख करोड़ रुपए पूरी तरह इंश्योर्ड है। 76 लाख करोड़ रुपया, इतना व्यापक सुरक्षा कवच तो विकसित देशों में भी नहीं है।
Speaking about financial inclusion and access to credit, the Prime Minister said that the Kisan Credit Card has proved to be very beneficial for small farmers as well as fishermen.
आज मुद्रा योजना देश के उन क्षेत्रों, उन परिवारों को भी स्वरोजगार से जोड़ रहे हैं जिन्होंने कभी इस बारे में सोचा तक नहीं था। आप सभी ये भी जानते हैं कि हमारे यहां छोटी जमीन वाले किसान, और हमारे देश में 85% किसान छोटे किसान हैं, बहुत छोटा सा जमीन का टुकड़ा है उनके पास। इतने बैंकों के होते हुए भी हमारा छोटा किसान बाजार से किसी तीसरे से महंगे ब्याज पर ऋण लेने के लिए मजबूर था। हमने ऐसे करोड़ों छोटे किसानों को भी किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड की सुविधा से जोड़ा और इसका दायरा पशुपालक और मछुआरों तक हमने बढ़ा दिया है। आज बैंकों से मिला लाखों करोड़ रुपए का आसान और सस्ता ऋण इन साथियों का जीवन आसान बना रहा है।
Speaking about social security, the Prime Minister said that farmers and agricultural laborers are now being given pension benefits.
किसान, छोटे दुकानदार, खेत मजदूर, कंस्ट्रक्शन और घरों में काम करने वाले श्रमिक साथियों को भी पेंशन की सुविधा से जोड़ा जा रहा है। आज देश के करोड़ों गरीबों को 2-2 लाख के दुर्घटना और जीवन बीमा के सुरक्षा कवच की सुविधा मिली है। पीएम जीवन ज्योति बीमा योजना और पीएम सुरक्षा बीमा योजना के तहत लगभग 37 करोड़ देशवासी इस सुरक्षा कवच के दायरे में आ चुके हैं। यानी एक प्रकार से अब जाकर देश के फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर का, देश के बैंकिंग सेक्टर का सही मायने में लोकतांत्रिकरण हुआ है।
And while addressing the function on Depositors First, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the government has always put the rights of depositors first. She said that the government has simplified the lives of common citizens by guaranteeing time-bound deposit insurance payment up to 5 lakh rupees.
From 2019, when there has been a lot of distressed calls and voices of depositors whose monies were lying because there was a regulatory control on the banks and they were not allowed to take their monies back. Their own money couldn't be taken out of the banks by them. So on the direction of Honorable Prime Minister, we made it possible in February 2020 budget to increase the insurance amount from 1 lakh to 5 lakhs. And this is a major step, a sensitive step, a step which understands the difficulties of the middle class of India.
Addressing the same program, the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das said that Depositors First is the focus of the RBI policy as well. He said that the RBI is trying to safeguard the interests of depositors in case of any eventuality.
The theme of today's event, Depositors First, is a very important theme, and in fact, that is the guiding philosophy, that is the guiding overarching philosophy of the Reserve Bank of India in all its actions and in all its policies so far as banks are concerned. Our focus is to protect the resilience of the banks and, more importantly, to keep in mind the interest of the depositors uppermost in our mind. whether it is the banking regulations, whether it is our supervision methods, or it is any scheme that is announced by the Reserve Bank.
And the Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal, addressed the Depositors First Guaranteed Time-Bound Deposit Insurance Payment up to 5 lakh rupees program. He did so in Pune. And he said that earlier it was a tedious task to provide benefits to depositors, but now it's been made easy by the Modi government. Piyush Goyal said the depositors of 17 banks will benefit from this scheme. He also said that 98% of deposit accounts have been insured through the scheme, which will in turn help Indians trust their banks.
हर डिपॉजिट और एक बैंक में एक व्यक्ति के सभी डिपॉजिट मिला के 5 लाख रुपए तक अगर कोई नुकसान होता है, अगर कोई बैंक में तकलीफ होती है और बैंक में डिपॉजिट वापस देने की क्षमता नहीं रहती है, तो 5 लाख रुपए तक डिपॉजिटर को वापस मिलेंगे। और आज विश्व की अगर बैंकिंग की व्यवस्था देखें तो एक प्रकार से भारत के डिपॉजिटर्स को सबसे ज्यादा कवरेज देने का काम भारत ने किया है, भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने किया है। और सबसे अहम बात यह है कि पहले जो 8-10 साल लगते थे, अब यह सुनिश्चित किया गया है कि जिस दिन रिजर्व बैंक ने बैंक को बंद करने का निर्णय लिया, उसके 90 दिन के अंदर, सिर्फ 90 दिन के अंदर पूरा पैसा 5 लाख तक डिपॉजिटर को वापस मिल जाएगा।
And the Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari, addressed the bank depositors at a similar function organized in Mumbai. And he said that it took about 7 to 8 years earlier for small depositors to get their money back if the banks had defaulted. But now they're going to get their money back within 3 months, is what he said. Nitin Gadkari, citing the new law, said that it provides deposit insurance cover of up to 5 lakh rupees in time-bound manner.
जब अचानक इस प्रकार से बैंक संकट में आती है तो ऐसे डिपॉजिटर्स काफी संकट में आते हैं। और मुंबई के लिए नई बात नहीं है कि निश्चित रूप से इस प्रकार के संकट कुछ बैंकों में वो बैंक कोलैप्स होने के कारण निश्चित रूप से अनेक ग्राहकों पर आए। और इसलिए भारत सरकार का जो कानून था उसके आधार पर ये जो इंश्योरेंस था ये 1 लाख रुपए तक था, पर अब ये निर्णय किया गया है कि ये 5 लाख रुपए तक मिलेगा। और आज टोटल क्रेडिट अकाउंट में 68.7 करोड़, जिसमें से करीब 8,520 क्लेम जो विड्रॉल्स है, ये आज लोगों को यूनिक कस्टमर्स है जिनको इसका फायदा मिलने वाला है।
So let's see what some depositors have said. They have welcomed the government's decision to increase the deposit insurance to 5 lakh rupees and the mandatory time limit for refund within 90 days. Some of them have benefited already.
इंश्योरेंस के जो अमाउंट थी जो 1 लाख थी, वो इंश्योरेंस के अमाउंट उन्होंने 5 लाख रुपए करने के बाद देश में बहुत से लाखों लोग इसमें सेफ हो गए। और बैंक ने जो फॉर्मेलिटीज किया, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने जो एक रूल्स बनाया कि 3 महीने के अंदर पूरे के पूरे पैसे मिलने चाहिए, कि उस कामकाज की वजह से मेरी बैंक ने मराठा कोऑपरेटिव बैंक ने मेरे पास से फॉर्म वगैरह भर के लिए और 3 महीने के अंदर ही मुझे मेरे 5 लाख रुपए मिल गए।
मेरा सिटी कोऑपरेटिव बैंक मुंबई, उसमें मेरा अकाउंट था और ये स्कीम की वजह से हमारे घर में 3 दिसंबर को बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के अकाउंट में चारों के नाम पे कुल 14,29,000 रुपया अकाउंट में आ गए।
I think we have with this insurance scheme, an assurance has been given to all the depositors by the Honorable Prime Minister by introducing this scheme of insurance. So I thank our Honorable Prime Minister, sir, and I also thank all those who are engaged in making this program a success.
छोटे लोग बैंक में अपना थोड़ा बहुत पूंजी रखते हैं, उनका जो मन का डर था कि अगर ये बैंक डूब जाएगी तो क्या होगा, तो 5 लाख रुपए तक 100% उसको प्रोटेक्शन मिला है। ये बहुत बड़ी बात है और उसके कारण बैंकिंग सेक्टर का डेवलपमेंट तो होगा ही, उसके साथ हमारे जो मिडिल क्लास सोसाइटी के निम्न वर्ग के लोग हैं उनकी बैंक पर की जो विश्वासार्हता है वो बढ़ने वाली है।
3 महीने पहले हमें ऐसे बैंक से इत्तला मिली थी कि आपके जो बैंक में डिपॉजिट है वो वापस दिया जाएगा। तो जो बैंक्स में मेरा पैसा अटक गया था करीब 5 लाख के ऊपर है और वो अभी नवंबर के लास्ट वीक में वो मेरा जो 5 लाख का अमाउंट था वो बैंक ऑफ इंडिया में जमा हो गया।
मेरा सिटी कोऑपरेटिव बैंक बोरिवली ईस्ट शांतिवन में अकाउंट था जहां से करीब 2 लाख रुपया जो अटका हुआ था वो वापस मिल गया। इससे बहुत खुश हूं।
Moving on then, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated the 2-day-long Swarnim Vijay Parv, and this is being celebrated to commemorate India's historic victory in the 1971 war. It's also the completion of 50 years of Indo-Bangladesh friendship. On the occasion, the Defence Minister inaugurated the Wall of Fame. During the event, a pre-recorded And during the event, a pre-recorded message of the late Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, was also played out.
मैं भारतीय सेना की सभी बहादुर जवानों को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। भारतीय सेना की 1971 की लड़ाई में जीत की 50वीं वर्षगांठ को हम विजय पर्व के तौर पर मना रहे हैं। मैं इस पावन पर्व पर सशस्त्र सेनाओं के वीर जवानों को याद करते हुए उनके बलिदान को श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं। 12 से 14 दिसंबर तक इंडिया गेट पर विभिन्न प्रकार के कार्यक्रमों का आयोजन किया जा रहा है। यह बड़े सौभाग्य की बात है कि विजय पर्व अमर जवान ज्योति की लौ की छाव में आयोजित किया जा रहा है, जो कि हमारे वीर शहीदों की याद में स्थापित की गई थी। हम सभी देशवासियों को इस विजय पर्व के जश्न में सम्मिलित होने के लिए आमंत्रित करते हैं। अपनी सेनाओं पर है हमें गर्व, आओ मिलकर मनाएं विजय पर्व। जय हिंद।
Well, paying homage to the late Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, while addressing the event, the Defence Minister, Rajnath Singh, said that the nation has lost a brave soldier.
जनरल रावत के निधन से एक बहादुर सैनिक, योग्य सलाहकार और जिंदादिल इंसान को खोया है। वे इस विजय पर्व के आयोजन को लेकर बेहद उत्साहित थे। कई बार इस कार्यक्रम के स्वरूप पर उन्होंने मुझसे व्यक्तिगत रूप से भी चर्चा की थी, इसलिए मुझे उनकी कमी काफी अधिक आज महसूस हो रही है।
Coming down heavily on Pakistan, the Defence Minister said that Pakistan wants to hamper India's integrity, but India has shattered Pakistan's nefarious plans.
आतंकवाद और अन्य विरोधी भारत गतिविधियों को बढ़ावा देकर पाकिस्तान भारत को तोड़ना चाहता है, मगर भारतीय सेनाओं ने 1971 में उसके मंसूबों को नाकाम किया था और अब आतंकवाद को भी जड़ से खत्म करने की दिशा में हमारी बहादुर सेना के जवानों के द्वारा यह काम चल रहा है। हम प्रत्यक्ष युद्ध में जीत दर्ज कर चुके हैं, परोक्ष युद्ध में हमारी ही विजय होगी, ऐसा मेरा पक्का विश्वास है।
During the celebration of the Swarnim Vijay Parv, weapons and equipments used during the 1971 war are being displayed in the form of an exhibition. And the Defence Minister also inaugurated a theatre exhibition, East and West.
शेख मुजीबुर रहमान को सत्ता के बजाय कैद दी। सर इसमें यह दर्शाया गया कि जो पूर्वी पाकिस्तान से तो चैलेंजेस उत्पन्न होते और मानवीय सहायता से बैंक तरफ से मुक्ति वाहिनी के बारे में के योगदान के बारे में और मुक्ति वाहिनी को समर्थ मशहूर जो मॉन्यूमेंट है वो आपके सामने है।
Moving on then to our next story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Varanasi on the 13th and 14th of December. At around 1 p.m. on the 13th of December, the Prime Minister will be visiting the Sri Kashi Vishwanath temple and offering prayers, after which he will inaugurate phase 1 of the Sri Kashi Vishwanath Dham. It's constructed at a cost of around 339 crore rupees. A total of 23 buildings will be inaugurated in phase 1 of this project. They will provide a variety of facilities to pilgrims visiting Sri Kashi Vishwanath temple, including Yatri Suvidra Kendras, tourist facilitation centers, Vedic Kendra, Mumukshu Bhavan, Bhogshala, City Museum, Viewing Gallery, food courts and others. And the Prime Minister has had a long history. His association is deep. It has a deep connection with the religious and spiritual city of Kashi, and it dates back long before he became Prime Minister. In fact, he had started and before he became Prime Minister and started representing Varanasi in Parliament, he had in fact several opportunities to visit the holy abode of Baba Vishwanath, as we'll see in this report. And while each subsequent visit further strengthened the bond of the Prime Minister with the city, it also further fueled his desire to contribute towards spiritual regeneration of the city and to return the city to its lost grandeur.
संकट मोचन की सारी शक्तियां जहां अपरंपार है, वो भूमि, उस भूमि की सेवा करने का मुझे सौभाग्य मिला है और मेरा मन कहता है मैं आया नहीं हूं, मुझे भेजा भी नहीं है, मां गंगा ने बुलाया है।
The year was 2014. Narendra Modi filed his nomination for the Lok Sabha elections, responding to the call of Kashi and its people. That's where the journey of Varanasi's transformation began. The fruits of his labor soon became visible with the development of infrastructure and 360-degree transformation of the holy city. Over the centuries, due to rampant illegal construction, reaching the temple had become an arduous task. For long, Prime Minister wanted to restore the age-old glory of the ancient city. Development of Kashi Vishwanath corridor is the result of his vision.
शायद भोले बाबा का आदेश कहो, आशीर्वाद कहो कि आज वो सपना साकार होने का शुभारंभ हो रहा है। ये काशी विश्वनाथ धाम एक प्रकार से ये भोले बाबा की मुक्ति का पर्व है कि ऐसे जकड़ा हुआ था हमारा बाबा, चारों तरफ दीवारों में फंसा हुआ था, शायद पता नहीं कितनी सदियों तक सांस लेने भी दिक्कत रही होगी। अब पहली बार अगल बगल की कई इमारतों को एक्वायर किया गया। भोले बाबा को तो मुक्ति मिलेगी, लेकिन भोले बाबा के भक्तों को विशालता की अनुभूति होगी।
While preserving the old, new facilities have been created to make darshan easier. The congested bylanes proved to be a huge challenge when the work began. Land acquisition was another hurdle. PM Modi instructed officials to ensure that everyone is taken along through constant dialogue. Officials were asked to adopt a flexible and patient approach. This resulted in the project being litigation-free. The extent of the challenge that was overcome can be ascertained through these before and after pictures. This is how the site looked in 2017. and this is the change that has been achieved in just 4 years. Prime Minister gave the initial briefing to the architects regarding the design and development of the corridor. He then reviewed a 3D model of the project. His attention to detail is also reflected in his inputs on making the area disabled friendly. PM monitored the progress of the project even during COVID times through video conferencing. Prime Minister's vision was also to ensure the preservation of the existing heritage structures. More than 40 ancient temples like Sri Gangeshwar Mahadev Temple, Manokameshwar Mahadev Temple and Jovinayak Temple were discovered during the digging for the corridor.
पुरातत्वीय चीजों को बचाए रखते हुए, उसकी आत्मा को वैसे ही बरकरार रखते हुए आधुनिकता कैसे लाई जा सकती है, व्यवस्थाएं आधुनिक कैसे बनाई जा सकती है, इसका एक बहुत ही अच्छा मिलन इस परिसर के निर्माण कार्य में दिखाई देगा। ये काशी विश्वनाथ धाम, काशी विश्वनाथ मंदिर के आसपास का पूरा परिसर के रूप में जाना जाएगा और गंगा मां तक हमें ये परिसर ले जाएगा। ये धाम हमें मां गंगा से जोड़ेगा। इससे पूरे विश्व में काशी एक नई पहचान बनने वाली है।
This rediscovery of the lost heritage is in sync with the Prime Minister's vision and tireless efforts for cultural restoration by bringing back the lost heritage even from foreign lands. This was recently epitomized through his endeavor to bring back the rare idol of Ma Annapurna Devi from Canada and getting it installed at the Kashi Vishwanath Temple. The Odyssey of Prime Minister for the development of Kashi Vishwanath corridor reflects his unique approach of building a new India. A nation modern in outlook and standing confidently on the foundation laid through spiritual reawakening. Bureau Report, DD India.
So Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating the Sri Kashi Vishwanath Dham corridor in Varanasi on Monday, and this project has been restored, and it's restored the grandeur of the temple, and it's a boon for pilgrims as well. Our correspondent Nikhil Singh spoke to Dr. Bimal Patel. He's the chief architect of the project.
Kashi, the cultural capital of India, the city of the holy Ganges, the city of Lord Shiva, of Baba Vishwanath, is in news again because of the Kashi Vishwanath Dham corridor project. This is not only the dream project of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but also the dream project of millions and millions of devotees. To talk more about this project, we have Dr. Bimal Patel, who is the architect of this project and who has conceived this project. Let's see that how he talks about it. Sir, thinking about this project, reorganizing the some temple and that to its old grandeur, it's not an easy task. How did you go about it? How did you start?
So first of all, let me make clear that I lead a large team of people who are both designers and also who are the workers who are constructing, the contractor. They work according to our design. So this project has been realized because of the work of many people. Our first concern was that whatever we do should blend in with the city, existing city, so that it should not stick out like a sore thumb. We decided to not to have a gradation of architectures. Okay, the area around the temple, the parisar around the temple, is entirely traditional, and I collaborated with a traditional temple architect to give it a form that would sit well with the original temple. Then as you come out, you're in a civic chowk, civic space, Mandir Chowk as we call it, just outside the temple. This space is meant for people. It connects with the gullies of Kashi, and this is meant for people to sit in the presence of the temple. This has some decorative elements which we have picked up from the architecture of Kashi, but it's a modern building but with decorative elements. So it sort of, the focus remains on the temple, which is most ornate, and which is the center. I cannot make the buildings more. Buildings have to become the background. And then as we walk further towards the Ganges, then the buildings are functional and simple.
In fact, that is the thing which was earlier missing. In fact, when we used to visit Kashi Vishwanath, there was a time when you go there were a lot of buildings and houses all around, narrow lanes. The temple was barely seen. And now you have not only uplifted that temple, but you have changed all the scene. How did you manage it?
So, certainly, you know, the earlier experience was an experience by itself. So some people might say that that is... but it was very stressful for most pilgrims when they went there, because the approaches were narrow, there was no infrastructure, so there was a lot of dirt, security and safety were compromised, and the temple itself gave you very little, I mean, you stand in a long line and you get very little time to feel that you have finally come to the temple. Okay, so this whole story had to be transformed, and that, you know, in a one line was the brief of the Prime Minister. When he sort of laid it out very simply. He says, listen, the approach should be from the Ganges to the temple, and as you go from the Ganges to the temple, man prafulit ho jana chahiye. That is what of the pilgrims. This was a one-line brief for us, and so that's how we have tried to structure the whole experience. Space had to be created for it, for which houses had to be purchased, people had to be convinced, and the district administration has done an incredible job.
As you said that the Prime Minister said that the approach should be from the Ganges side. How did you connect the Ganges to the temple? I mean, it must have been an uphill task, I feel.
Well, it is an uphill task because it is a hill that you have to climb. You know, when you come from the Ganges, so we wanted the whole journey from the Ganges up to the temple to be like a spiritual unfolding, in a sense, if you will. That you come from the Ganges and you are confronted by a mountain of steps that is visible from, you know, the ghats. It's not built as yet. As the second phase is getting done, it should be done in another 2 months. And then a gate confronts you. So if you climb that step, first of all, you now enter the temple precinct and you come near Baba Vishwanath. And then when you pass through the gateway, you come to the temple precinct, and you are slowly directed. Your vision is directed, your movement is directed through a more gradual climb up to a gateway for the Mandir Chowk. But as you approach the gateway, the shikhar of the Vishwanath Mandir is visible right on axis. Okay, so already you know now you are in the presence of the temple. You come there, come to the gate. Again, a gate is a sort of a tighter space. Suddenly you are released into the Mandir Chowk. The Mandir Chowk is a civic space still. And then you have to climb down actually to come up to the Parisar, and one great gateway sort of confronts you there, and you once you pass through that, you come into the sacred space around the temple.
The speciality of the stones used in it?
Around the Mandir Parisar, we have used stone which is same as the temple, the Chunar stone, the Mirzapur stone that has been used. The same temple and base is the same stone, so that they are of one type. Otherwise, we have used stone from Rajasthan, which has a color that matches. It sort of slightly offsets the color of. So temple we should not use the same stone, same color as the temple. Temple and the Parisar is one stone and the rest. The flooring is all granite.
So are you finally satisfied?
Well, that's very difficult to say. One always wants to do more and believes that something more could have been achieved out of this. As far as the pilgrims who come there, they feel that their experience has been enhanced, that they have more facilities, that they feel that something wonderful has been done, that this would be really good.
Thank you so much. Thank you for talking with DD India and DD News. So the task which was undone for hundreds of years has been completed, and it's really a dream come true, not only the dream of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but lakhs and lakhs of devotees who come here with their unwavering faith to Lord Shiv. With cameraman Jagpal, this is Nikhil Singh reporting for DD News and DD India from New Delhi.
Moving on then, the dream project of Kashi Vishwanath corridor has been quite challenging. Managing the crowd and the topography was not an easy task amid COVID protocols as well. And yet the inspiration of Prime Minister Narendra Modi kept us going. This is what the Chairman and Managing Director of PSP Projects has said. Listen to him.
The development of Kashi Vishwanath Dham corridor has been the dream project of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And I have with me Prahlad Bhai Patel, the man who is responsible for realizing the dream of the Prime Minister. He is the chairman and managing director of the PSP company that has done this project. Let's talk to him and find out. Mr. Patel, first of all, how challenging was it for you? Because today it looks a complete different picture.
See, this project from the first day the order was given in January 2020, that the challenge started from that day only. If you see the location of this mandir, it is in the heart of the city where the transportation is not possible. So we were allowed to bring the materials in the night time only when the temple is closed. If you see on Mondays, it is 1 to 1.5 lakhs of pilgrims people are coming, and in general days it is mostly 30 to 50,000. So this crowd maintaining the material logistic was not possible. So we were allowed to bring the material in night time only. Secondly, the whole corridor, if you see, it is spread between from Mandir to Ghat, it is 350 meter, which keeps us a space of only 4.5 to 6 meter continuous road. And the terrain, if you see the level of the temple and the level of the river, it is almost 25 meter difference. So working on this terrain with the different, with the tight logistic and keeping the materials on time, maintaining the timeline. At the same time, there were two corona hits. First was in when I got order in January. First hit was in March 2020, and the second hit which affected UP more, which was in UP March 2021. But still, we were not given any more extension, and though the timeline given for the project is 18 months, we are going to complete this project in 21 months.
So what was the inspiration that kept you going? Was it the Prime Minister himself?
Yes, see, dreaming about this project itself is a big challenge. See, if you want to have a land nearby your house, it is very difficult. Now you are going to convince people in the city to give the land for the temple. It was a big deal. And this dream, to make it success, if this could have been dreamed by him, then I think the challenge, any challenge in construction can be taken care of rather than challenges to be faced with the people.
So one last question. Today, when the project is complete, what do you have to say?
See, I really feel proud to be a part of this project, and we really feel more proud about saying that this project we are completing the total work. When we started off, we thought that this project has to be completed in December. It was I think July when I did about 160 crore, and now I'm going to complete almost 350 crore. So almost 200 crore of work we have done in four and a half months.
One last question. How much manpower was put in for this project?
So on an average, it was the day, on an average, it was about 2,500 to 3,000, including my staff of about 250 people, right from mechanic to my project manager.
So there you heard from the chairman, it was a dream project which has been realized today. With camera person Jayashri and Kamlesh in Varanasi, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
Moving on then, the mortal remains of Lieutenant Colonel Harjinder Singh, who died in the Tamil Nadu chopper crash, were consigned to flames with full military honours at Brar Square in New Delhi. His wife and daughters paid their last respects to the officer. His daughter hit the funeral pyre. Earlier, the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh paid tributes to Lieutenant Colonel Harjinder Singh at Broad Square in New Delhi. The mortal remains of Lance Naik B. Sai Teja, who lost his life in the chopper crash, was brought to his hometown Chittoor in Andhra Pradesh. The Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy announced 50 lakh rupees ex gratia to the family of Lance Naik B. Sai Teja. Tributes were paid at Bhopal to Lance Naik Jitendra Kumar, who lost his life in the chopper crash. Public representatives, administration, officials and the common people reached the air cargo area to pay their last respects. The mortal remains of Naik Gursevak Singh, who passed away as well in the chopper crash in Tamil Nadu. His mortal remains have been taken to his residence from Amritsar Air Force Station in Punjab. The mortal remains arrived in his village in Taran Taran. The 35-year-old soldier was among the 13 people killed in the IAF helicopter crash on December 8. An Asiatic Robotics International competition was organized by Asian Robotic Union in association with Prasar Bharati in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. The event has been organized at the Gujarat Technological University campus in Ahmedabad. 11 teams from 21 countries from all over the world are participating in this competition. Robotic teams from Nirma University, Ahmedabad and Gujarat Technological University have participated in the competition. Teams from many countries like Japan, China, Mongolia and Indonesia are showcasing their skills in this competition through virtual medium. Let's take a look now. This is an update on COVID-19 from across the country. The administration of 89,56,784 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours, and now India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has exceeded 132.93 crores. Cumulatively, 132 crore 93 lakh 84,230 beneficiaries have been vaccinated so far. This has been achieved through 1 crore 38 lakh 52,959 sessions and more than 140 crore 20 lakh 73,000 vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far, and more than 17 crore 93 lakh 72,000 vaccine doses are still unutilized and they are still available with the states and union territories to be administered. So the recovery of 8,464 patients in the last 24 hours has now increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients. This is since the beginning of the pandemic to 3 crore 41 lakh 22,795. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 98.36%. It's the highest since March of 2020. Sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and the states and union territories. So these collaborative efforts, they continue the trend of less than 15,000 daily new cases that are being reported for the last 45 days now. 7,774 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. India's active caseload is currently 92,281. It's the lowest in 560 days. The active cases constitute 0.27% of the total positive cases in the country, and this is the lowest since March of 2020. Also, the testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded, especially with the Omicron variant. And the last 24 hours saw a total of 11,89,459 tests being conducted. India has so far conducted 65,58,16,759 cumulative tests. While testing capacity has been enhanced across the country, the weekly positivity rate is at 0.7%, and it remains less than 1% for the last 28 days. The daily positivity rate reported to be around 0.65%, and that's remained below 2% for the last 69 days. It's also below 3% for 104 consecutive days. And talking about Omicron, the Andhra Pradesh State Health Department has confirmed its first Omicron case in the state. The health department said that a 34-year-old person from Vijayanagaram has tested positive for the Omicron variant. He had come to Visakhapatnam from Ireland via Mumbai. An RT-PCR test was conducted at the Visakhapatnam airport, and subsequently, he was sent to that test was sent to the CCMB for Omicron. And meanwhile, Chandigarh Health Department has also reported the first such case in Chandigarh. Fully vaccinated foreign national has tested positive for Omicron. The 20-year-old man has come from Italy, landed in India on November 22 and was diagnosed with COVID on December 1, has tested positive for Omicron. He's fully vaccinated with Pfizer vaccine, and he has been tested for COVID-19 again today, and that report is awaited. Now the total new variant count, that is Omicron variant count, has now reached 35 in India. A devastating swarm of tornadoes ripped through 6 U.S. states, killing more than 80 people. Kentucky was the worst hit, and leaving a trail of destroyed homes and businesses along its path. It stretched more than 200 miles on Saturday. The Kentucky governor said that the death toll may exceed 100. Apart from Kentucky, the powerful twisters, with weather forecasters say is unusual at this time of the year, especially in the cooler months. They demolished factories, the fire and police stations as well, homes and other public property in Missouri, in Arkansas, in Illinois, Tennessee, as well as Mississippi. Reports say that Kentucky was struck by the worst tornado in over a century. A state of emergency was declared in Kentucky, and National Guards were brought for rescue efforts. Reports say at least 18 tornadoes hit the U.S. South as well as the Midwest overnight, resulting in large-scale carnage. And the U.S. President Joe Biden has said that the government will do everything it possibly can to help the central areas of the country devastated by tornadoes. He said that the storms were among the worst in U.S. history. Biden signed a federal emergency disaster declaration releasing funds for the worst affected state, which is Kentucky. Biden also ordered federal aid to supplement the response from state and local authorities. Federal Emergency Management Agency is sending emergency response personnel, water and other needed commodities to 7 states affected, and Biden has ordered a surge of resources to locations with the greatest need that will make other federal resources and personnel available.
Joe and I pray, and I sincerely mean this, pray for those who've lost loved ones and for those who are uncertain of the fate of their loved ones and the debris that you see scattered all over the hurricane's path. They lost their homes, they lost their businesses, and it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. And we still don't know how many lives are lost or the full extent of the damage. The federal government will do everything it can possibly do to help. I've spoken several times today with the head of FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, as well as the director of FEMA, who's already deployed emergency response personnel to these states, search and rescue teams, water and other supplies, And FEMA is on the ground working with each of the states to assess the damages and focus on federal support where it is needed most and how we can get it there most rapidly.
Some other international news now. In Italy, at least 4 people were killed in a collapse of 2 buildings in the Sicilian town of Ramanusa following a gas explosion. 5 people were missing and 2 were found alive under the rubble of the building. A priest who was celebrating Mass near the buildings on Saturday evening said that the houses were set alight after a natural gas pipe exploded in the town of 11,000 near Agrigento, the southwestern Sicilian city, which is famous for Greek temples. The fire brigade said that the gas leak seemed to come from the underground network of pipes in the area and not from a single source. The gas appeared to have accumulated in the area and may have been ignited by the use of the lift. According to Carabinieri, military police, the explosion damaged at least another 5 buildings in the center of the town. Let's take a look now at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. So COVID-19 cases have been soaring across the world, with the cumulative tally of the cases crossing 27 crores. The number of recoveries globally too have risen. They've crossed 24 crore 28 lakhs, while the death toll has shot above 53 lakh 19,000. The US remains the worst affected country by this disease. It has registered more than 5 crore 7 lakh cases of the disease, and the country has lost over 8 lakh 17,000 people their lives due to this virus. The European countries face a surge in COVID-19 cases driven by the Omicron variant of the disease. The United Kingdom registered the highest number of cases in the continent. The UK's COVID-19 cases, they stand above 1 crore 7 lakh. It's followed by France, has 82 lakh 14,000 cases. Germany witnessed over 65 lakh cases of the disease, and Spain's tally has crossed 52 lakh 90,000. Let's get you some sports news now. India's 2-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu will look to bring her best to the fore on the big stage when she begins her title defense at the Badminton World Federation World Championships. So Sindhu has been in impressive form as well, as she claimed her 2nd silver medal of the season in the season-ending World Tour Finals after 3 successive semi-final finishes at the French Open, Indonesian Masters and the Indonesia Open. So let's hope she wins. Other sports news: Liverpool beat Aston Villa 1-0 as Mohamed Salah scored a penalty, keeping the Merseysiders a point behind the Premier League leaders Manchester City. Steven Gerrard's return to Anfield as Aston Villa's manager ended in a defeat. For the first time in his football career, Steven Gerrard kept the Liverpool crowd quiet, and it was just what he wanted. In the end, it counted for little as Aston Villa manager was unable to save his team from a 1-0 defeat against his old club, Anfield. But the absence of tribute songs will not have been lost on the former Liverpool captain. Max Verstappen gained a potentially decisive advantage in his epic battle with Lewis Hamilton for the Formula One world title on Saturday by claiming the pole position in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Verstappen goes into the season-closing race on points with Hamilton, equal in fact, who took the second in qualifying to join Red Bull's driver on the front row. Both have been included in a collision 3 times, and what has become a point of concern for the F1 officials also. Race director Michael Masi has warned that Formula One drivers that they could face suspension or lose all their points for driving in an unsportsmanlike manner ahead of Sunday's title deciding battle at the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And a lot is brewing, in fact, off the track as well. Moving on then, around 1,200 swimmers took the plunge on Sunday and raced across Hong Kong's iconic Victoria Harbour. As the city's famous swimming race returned after a 2-year suspension, the race has been suspended for 33 years, from 1978 to 2011, because of concerns about water pollution. And before we end this edition of News Connect, we are leaving you with some visuals. Take a look. Namaskar.